Oké, ja, het is wel goed als je mijn gezicht wel gewoon ziet. Oké, hallo, hallo. Hallo, hallo, hallo. Oké, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Why government? Ja, oké, is goed. Oké. In this video I'm going to talk... Oké, lekker bezig. Oké, let's do it. Oké. In this video I'm going to talk about why... Okay. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral and why the next level in our society would be to... In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral and... Okay. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral and also why the next level in our society would be to let government go. And that's a radical thing to say because this world, yeah, is like steeped in this idea that we need government, that this is the only way to make society work or something like that. And I am here to say that that is not the case. En er ging net een motor langs, dus ik weet niet of ik dat hoor. Dus motherfucker. Ik denk het niet eigenlijk, maar oké. In this video I'm going to... Okay. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral. Okay. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral. And also why the next level in our society would be to let government go. And I know that is a bold claim to make. Okay. In this video, okay, in this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral and also why the next level in our society... Fuck. Eén keer. In this, yeah, okay. In this video I'm going to talk, yeah. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral. Okay. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral and also why the next level in our society would be to let government go. And I know that is a bold claim to make, so... Okay. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral and also why... yeah, okay. Yeah. In this video I'm going to talk about why government is immoral and also why the next level in our society would be to let government go. And I know that is a bold claim to make, and that is because if you look at this world, it's so steeped in this idea, it's so, I don't know, like overwhelmingly present that government is the only way that we can organize society. And it's like a fish that lived his whole life in the aquarium and thinks like, oh yeah, this is just what it is, right? So I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. Absolutely very far from it, I think. Government also has not been around that long in the current form. And before government you had kings and queens and all kinds of other things. But yeah, the current form is very interesting to look at, and I am going to discuss why it is immoral and then look at alternatives. And this also goes hand in hand with yeah, the idea that globalism and more centralized control are not the answer to the problems in the world, because there are certain groups and individuals that try to see these ideas that we need more centralized control and more globalism and all these things. And that is not the case. That's not the answer to the problems that exist in society. Quite the contrary, they're actually like the cause of them in a lot of cases. Because what happens with centralized control is that people who want this centralized control, what will they do? They will try to create certain narratives to further and further this agenda of, hey, give us more centralized control because this is good. Yeah, because they want more and more power, more and more control over this world, over consciousness in this current form on planet Earth. More and more this control. And if you look at government, let's talk about that. So government itself is actually something that initiates violence on peaceful acting human beings. So let me explain what that means. So let's say a concept like taxes. So I was not at the meeting where they decided that I need to pay taxes. So I was just born in a certain country and then they enforce me to pay taxes. But the thing is, I am a free individual in this world. I was just born here. I'm a free human being. And I actually own the fruits of my labor, but they actually steal it. That's why in these types of philosophies, taxation is actually stealing. And what I'm talking about is that you can organize a society more based on voluntarism. Voluntarism and anarchism. Anarchism is like more, okay, no government at all. And voluntarism also leans towards that. Very minimal government. I would say like we have to go to a state where there is just no government, no centralized government in the way that we know it right now. This is really important to understand. I'm not talking about, and this is a very important distinction to make, I'm not talking about the essence of creating order and stability in a society. Because of course this intention is good. This intention to create stability and order is very necessary in a society. It's very necessary in your own internal world. It's very necessary in relationships and family dynamics. It's very important. It's also a vital part of, society. It's more like this order and structure. And then on the other hand, you have more freedom. Freedom that goes beyond structure and goes beyond order. And this is really important to understand. You need the balance of the two. But what I'm saying is that the current form that we have is just, basically like mafia. And yeah, it's just so funny to me because which person that you meet in your life and that you talk to is like, my government, like, they are doing the right things and yeah, they're so good. I love them. It's even, and it's always a battle, right? It's like, it's the left, it's the right, it's the, I don't know, like the more liberal ones, the more conservative ones, the ones who are a little bit more for nature and the ones who are for the animals. You also have those in the Netherlands. So it's just quite funny to think about that from a level of, I think that everybody already intuitively feels that this is not the highest level that we can get at. Otherwise, we would be really satisfied and like, okay, wow, this is, amazing, and we, it's all good, I mean, there will always be problems, but it's just more like, then the world would actually be like really, really good. This is like kind of the way you could actually measure that. How happy are the people with this? And then most people are not. Even people who are not maybe like labeled as conspiracy theorists or something like that, who think that the government, is just actually like there for good intentions. Or let's put it this way, you have the concept of government and like the idea of it and what some people think it is. And then there's people inside governments using this mechanism to further their own selfish agendas. And this is one of the things that happens with government a lot, is that it gets infiltrated by people that have these selfish intentions. Because how are these people also elected in these elections and stuff? It's like a circus. like if an alien would look at that, they're like, okay, like what are you guys doing? These people are making all kinds of promises, and then we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and then they don't do it, and then you re-elect them again. Or you just pick the other side this time. You pick like team blue instead of team red. Like, okay, can we transcend these boxes? Because this is what creates all the problems in the world. Left versus right. Are you pro-Palestine or are you pro-Israel? Are you pro-Ukraine or are you pro-Russia? Are you for the facts or are you against the facts? Are you, someone who's liberal or conservative? Because it's like all these pointing towards the other party. I won't go too deep into that point in this one. I'll save it a little bit more for later, but it's good that I said it. So the government is immoral because it initiates violence on peaceful acting human beings. It's basically like enforcing certain rules. So there's like, they try to pretend that, the people, they can vote, and then there's some kind of system, and then the leaders or the people in, government, they decide certain rules as a group. So these are like, let's say it's a group of 100 people or 200 people or the president or whatever you want to call it, or whatever system applies to your country. And then this entity says to all the people in that country, hey, this is what you need to do. And this is wrong because it violates the non-aggression principle. It initiates violence on peaceful acting human beings. And the non-aggression principle is really simple to understand. If somebody hits you, you are allowed to defend yourself. It's really simple. And this also goes beyond physical attack. If somebody tries to say like, hey, this is what you need to do, you need to wear a mask. You need to get an experimental vaccine into your body, mRNA stuff that's nobody really knows what it is, to be able to travel. This is like a direct violation of love and freedom and all the good principles that, the good in this reality represents. And I was shocked with how many people went along with this, because this is like the epitome of government gone wrong. Okay, look at China, for example. China is a very good example, like super centralized. There's basically one guy in power and he's super skeptical, and everybody is afraid of this person because there's so much centralized power towards this one individual. Yeah, of course he's gonna do like stupid shit. And then at some point decide, you know what we need? We need a social credit system where all the people are tracked and traced and everybody gets a number. And then, okay, if you do like one thing against the government, then yeah, you get deducted in your points. That's not like how you actually organize a society that, creates like a good life for the people and everybody inside, even the leaders, Not like the highest you can achieve. It's not, it's not even close, I mean, no, let me rephrase that. It's more like it's really, really bad what they have in China. More than, okay, maybe what you have in the Netherlands where I'm from. Okay, that's like still not good, but better, of course. But the people in Europe and also the United States, they look at China, it's like, oh yeah, but that's the Chinese, that could never happen here. Okay, yeah, that's like such a interesting way of looking at reality. Of, it can happen there, but we are much smarter than that, and we'll stand up against tyrannical governments when they impose certain rules, which They already did. And they will do again at some point. It's like inevitable because they want to further this agenda of more and more control. And they use this instrument of government. And this is also why government works together with the big corporations. The big corporations, even like companies like Facebook, Google, all these big corporations, they work together with big government and big, corporatism. It's not like free market capitalism. It's this corporatism. It works also together with government and then gets certain advantages. And then the middle class, like the smaller entrepreneurs, they have a really hard time to, work up against that, of course. And yeah, of course, like you can still niche down and stuff, but let's just say these are really, really big companies and are hard to compete with. And that's in every single industry because also they're just glued together. This is basically where all the people also go that want a lot of power. They go to government or to the really big businesses or to, I think there are hedge funds like BlackRock and Vanguard, and there's one other one, Street something. These own basically all the companies. So where do the people go that want power? They go there and they work together with government because that has the monopoly on violence. Because if you don't pay your taxes, then you go to fucking jail. You go to jail. And if you, let's just take this example, and everybody understands this, but this is, to illustrate a point. Nazi Germany, the Nazis, they were also government. The most horrible things in this world and in the past in society have all happened in the name of this higher centralized authority. Before it were kings and queens, then it's government at the moment. And I say, like, if you shed this belief that authority should be centralized like this, then it opens up a lot. Because, okay, let's say we could organize society in a different way. Can you try to think about that, People always say, like, oh, we'll build the roads. Yeah, the roads will be built because people have the desire to have a form of transportation between location A and location B, and then there will be a road built. You don't need a government for that. The human spirit will be creative. And yeah, we can organize more in a decentralized manner and not like this top-down control. That will also create more of a need for understanding actually what reality is and what society is, and then also to make balanced and holistic choices. So we need, more internal personal and spiritual growth, and also understanding how society works and understanding the collective darkness and the collective light. And then, okay, how can we balance those in a good way so that the consciousness level raises, and also the prosperity in the society is lifted up, and that the decisions that are being made from like a holistic perspective instead of just a few people somewhere in like a dark black tower, like, oh, they're deciding all these things. You don't really know what's happening behind these closed doors because they collude, they want more power. And let me just look at my notes for a second. Because at the moment, what I really want to say is that everything in existence is equal. So if you believe that they have the authority, that you somehow don't have that, that's a flawed way of thinking. And that is something that then creates a situation where there is somebody who can initiate violence on you. And like in this case, it's the government. And one other thing that I want to point out is that, one second. die gedachte, oké. Is oké. We want control. Yeah, okay. So what you So in the end, it boils down to that you can create a society not based on force, and that there can be voluntary exchange between people. There are certain goods exchange, certain services, and that there doesn't have to be a third party, which is called the government, that takes a piece of that action so that then, it can pay for certain things. It's an absurd idea if you really think it through. Because, okay, let's say we just have some systems and we're like a group of 200 people, and okay, we have some systems, people can log in and you can see, oh, this is what's happening, they're building a road there, they're doing this thing here, and okay, we want to build a city like this, okay, cool, everybody can chime in. And then through understanding polarity and through understanding more like the nature of consciousness and what it is to be a free human being, then we can organize society in this way, and it's decentralized, and then everybody will have power and control in a sense, but it's not that a few, like a minority, has all the power and almost all the control in a sense, in a physical reality sense, because in the end we all have a lot of power, more in the manifestation aspect. But this is, just think about it, okay, is this possible? Because you can see that the current system is not working. Look how many problems there are in the world. Look at how many people are dying in certain wars, that these leaders, supposedly with good intentions, they're doing this, wars and stuff. I mean, think about that. It's because of government. In the end, this is the root cause of the problem. And then if you would dissect that more, it's the belief in authority. It's the belief that these people somehow, some way have more rights than you, and you are not allowed to have a gun. And they are allowed to have a gun. In the United States, they still understand this, that you can be a free human being, and that the problems with violence, they are not due to the guns. There's a lot of interesting ways you can look at this, but in the end, you are a free human being, and you can decide what is best for you. And the only thing that we all need to adhere to is the non-aggression principle, so you don't initiate violence on other people. That's really it. And if somebody does that, you have the right to defend yourself. This is the universal law. It always works, and government violates that, and that's why government is immoral. It's basically like mafia. It's a mafia, and people don't understand it. Do you think it's normal that a certain group of people can decide that you need to take an experimental mRNA vaccine that isn't even a real vaccine, whatever the hell it actually is, so that you can be free? This is really, I just can't understand that bodily autonomy is not holy in this world. And then you can say, yeah, because it's like for the people and we need to do this for others, but those are the specific narratives that they have seeded into the society to get you to follow along. To follow along. I mean, what's the next thing going to be? Could it get even worse than that? What about the social credit system in Europe and in the United States? They won't call it that. They'll call it carbon credits or The thing that's also coming, the CBDC, central bank digital currency. And these are all things that a lot of people don't want. They want it, and they will create certain problems so that then, well, okay, well, we have the CBDC now because the economy has crashed, and then, hey, who wants some free money to buy food? Because, yeah, of course, people who are hungry and don't have any food, what will they do? But the thing is that if we don't have this control and meddling in the economy and all these, I don't know, like, yeah, meddling and conspiracies behind closed doors, then we would be more and more prosperous and there would be a lot of abundance. So there would actually be also less problems. And let me see if I'm missing something. Because, yeah, it's also really a lot about the paradox of control and freedom. Because the people that are in power, they're like, control, control, control. We need more control. We want more control. We want more power. That's actually what they're saying. We need more power. We need more power. We need more control. We need more control. Like every single problem, they're thinking it through. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to have more control. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. More control, more centralized. Also, I mean, this can also translate to organizations like the World Health Organization. It's basically, yeah, maybe in a sense even worse. Like this non-elected organization that's like somewhere that can then say certain things and then other governments basically take over this advice and then it's like something that needs to be done or something. And that's basically completely owned by Bill Gates. Okay, is that like a smart organization to listen to? It's like the World Health Organization. They have found exactly what is human health and how it exactly works, and they really understand every single nuance there is, and they're totally not biased towards Western medicine and all these things to profit and to, in the end, also further an agenda of control. They're just there. They have like super good intentions. I mean, health is such a complex thing. It's so nuanced. It's so it's a polarity, Like one person says, okay, fasting is really good. The other person says, you really want to get your metabolism going, so you need to eat a fair amount of calories. Who is right? The other person says, you don't need vegetables because you can just eat potatoes and all these things. They have the nutrients. And then the other person says, no, the vegetables, they're really good because they have like certain vitamins also, vitamin K and this or that. Oh, but they also have anti-nutrients, so you shouldn't eat it, says the paleo person or whatever. It's so complicated. It's so complicated. It's also so individual. It's also, okay, where you're at. Okay, what is good food for you? What are good supplements for you? What is a good treatment for you if you are actually ill? I mean, they don't really talk about preventing, maybe a little bit. I mean, of course, they also maybe talk a little bit about that. But then, yeah, it's push the vaccine, push the vaccine, push the conventional pills, all these things. And it's such a nuanced topic. So how can like this organization even exist? The World Health Organization that decides, okay, this is what other governments need to do, and then they follow along. It's insane. People should be free to figure this out for themselves. Let them do it themselves. If there's like a pandemic, if there's something going on, you educate yourself. What do you want to do? Do you want to wear a mask? Sit inside? Don't talk to any people? Don't hug anybody? If that's your conclusion after looking at studies and looking at, okay, what is this thing? Looking holistically at, the problems that maybe this illness can bring, or just the illness itself. Okay, what is it actually? Where is it coming from? What is it? How many people does it actually kill? Not only look at the news, like, hey, news, it's like fear. Oh yeah, this is free news, and they have like just really good intentions to inform me about exactly what is going on. That's like their intention. But yeah, in the end, it's your decision because you're a free part of consciousness, and other parts of consciousness are just trying to control you. So can you try to see that? It's so easy to see if you see it. It's more like, oh, okay, it's so obvious. And it doesn't mean that we don't need any order and stability, or what was the other word again? Forgot. Ah, yes, of course, yeah, it's stability. So yeah, there's still like a need for creating order and stability, but it will come from the individual, and then together that will translate to the group. And like I said, like what can we do? We can create certain systems. Why would we need government? Just ask yourself why. Like in the past, why would you need a king? Why would you need a queen? Makes no sense. And now, especially with AI and all these things, okay, we can build systems that have enormous amounts of variables in them, and then work with that knowledge. Does it mean that the AI should manage society? I think that is then also, again, a wrong way to go about it. But it's also voluntary. Like, okay, so in this part of the world, maybe some people decide, hey, I want to live my life in this way. Totally fine. You can do that as long as you don't initiate violence on other peaceful acting human beings. So it's like, of course, not physical violence, but then also just dictating towards other people, hey, this is how you need to think, this is how you need to behave. Because this is an internal problem. It's not that government will ever solve this. It's basically like an outward projection of the insecurity that people have about the beliefs and standpoints and polarities of other people, and then they're trying to say, oh, in order for me to feel safe and okay, you need to behave in this way. You need to do it in my way. It's like a little toddler. You need to do it in my way. Otherwise, I don't feel safe. You also need to be Republican. You also need to be a left person. Otherwise, I don't feel good. Otherwise, I think that society will not work in some kind of way, or like I will not meet my own needs. But the funny thing is, if you combine the two and you really let go more and find, oh, okay, like there's benefits and drawbacks in both sides, and people could look at that, oh, okay, like there's some arguments here, there's some good arguments here. And there's not like this picking of the sides. Oh, it's like, I am team red, I am team blue. It's more like a transcending of this. And government is really like a structure where this is so embedded that there are these teams and they're like battling against each other. But if you understand more from a spiritual perspective, that in the end there's only oneness. It's just how can I say, like a spectrum. There's a way to organize society, but there's like, in the end, there's like only non-duality. So if you go all the way this way, it's like the left, and it's all the way this way is the right. But in the end, it's all the same. It's just different degrees of the same principle making like a dance. And then, okay, how can you neutralize that energy more so that it's not in a clash? And that is actually also one of the core principles a free society should be founded upon. Because what I'm talking about is a free society for everybody. Not like a free society for like a select few that have all the power that then dominate the others. I'm talking about a free society, and it will still have problems. I mean, thank God there will still be problems, otherwise there'll be nothing to do. So in a sense, it's also not bad, the things that we have right now. Okay, there's problems, there's things to be done, and okay, you want to improve, so it's good, it's nice, it's like a nice game. But in the end, it's also, what's the next level? What can we create? And it's not that would be like, how can I say, like a problemless society. It's more, two things have to happen, like a raise in consciousness, which I think also the current events and the events that will happen in the future, the coming 20 years, when, for example, Pluto is going to transit Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of society, and then Pluto It's the sign of a little bit more the underworld and bringing up a certain rebirth, a rebirth of society. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius was when the French Revolution happened. So it's maybe not a coincidence that we're in this energy. And yeah, what will happen there? There will be a rebirth, and then what can we shape this society into? And that's interesting to talk about because government in the essence is immoral. It's basically like a hidden form of slavery, hidden form of this control that doesn't look like that. Oh, there's like you elect these people or something, but all the things are already decided in behind the closed doors. And even if all the people would be like super good intention, then still, if it's like a system like that, where not everybody has ownership, where you just say like, okay, you know what, I vote for this person, and then they are going to do certain things. Oh, they don't do it. Well, that's too bad. It should, in my opinion, I don't have all the answers. I'm just saying this thing is immoral, and you can obviously see all the problems that it is causing. And I'm making a case for, okay, what's the next level? What can we do? And then let's see, I mean, I don't know everything, but I do know that I have a power to, bring these ideas to the front, and also I'm good at initiating things. And then okay, well, like all the details, I can decide all of them, and like how would the entire world organize itself? And this is exactly the point that I'm making, because one person cannot decide for an entire society how it should be governed, because there's so many nuances and variables that go into that. You cannot think of that. Even maybe if you would have like the smartest AI, because it would still be biased. It'd still be biased. I mean, I used the China example. How can that one man be somebody that can decide good things? Well, he won't, because also even that the fact that that can even exist, that one man can have so much power, that already says that this energy and this society is constructed on, I don't know, like shadows and darkness of the bad kind. I mean, there's also shadows and darkness that can be good. It's more, it's so, it's so interesting. How can it even go to that point? Like now they can't go back. How can it even go to that point? How can even somebody like Kim Jong-un, like in North Korea, like they're all clapping because they're so afraid that he will kill them? But how can it even get to that point? How can it even get to that point that, like in the United States or Europe, that they would put like a vaccine in your fucking arm? And then you can like travel again. What's the next thing that they'll do? Try to implant like these fucking chips in your brain or something? I don't know. You can decide for yourself. Doesn't really matter. It's more like, how can it even get to that point? And that is because a lot of people, they don't look at their own darkness. They don't really look at their own unconscious stuff. And that's hard, by the way. It's not like an easy thing. And then, of course, the society and the people that are supposedly leading it or organizing it, they will also be tricksters that try to manipulate people for their own selfish gain. I mean, it's all right to influence people, to inspire them, and to say like, hey, like maybe we need to do this. Influence is always important. It's not like a bad thing in a sense. It's more like they do it only for their selfish gain. And they also do it from a certain state of consciousness where it's just a lower vibration that can also maybe not even think that holistically, and then it thinks like really black and white, and then obviously it creates problems, because the people that are actually like also in government, they're not so, in my opinion, like not really trained in consciousness exploration, their own personal growth, their own spirituality. Have they healed their traumas? Have they looked at their own shadows? These are not things that are talked about. Have they maybe tried some psychedelics and expanded a little bit. What actual credentials do they really, really have to do like the certain specific task that they're doing? Like, oh, do they really understand? I don't know. Like somebody who was like the minister of housing, or for example, like, okay, does he really understand architecture and urban landscaping, and he's really like an expert in that area? And then we think like, okay, you know what, this person, yeah, they should be in charge of that. That's a good idea, and I think this is how you can organize a society much better, based on actual tangible skills, where people are like, okay, like this guy, he's good at this. Let David handle that. He's good at that. And then people just chime in, okay, yeah, he's quite good at that. Yeah, let him do it. Or maybe somebody, okay, this guy, like he really has some really profound ideas about health and really incorporates, Western philosophies and Eastern philosophies, and he understands different polarities, okay, maybe like more like metabolic diet from Ray Peat, and he also understands fasting and all these things, and he's really knowledgeable about the different processes that go on inside the body, and then also has a good view on how you can organize society in terms of hospitals, and how you can, organize that, and that there is maybe a balance between, how can I say, giving pills and also preventing things. And he really understands this in a really nuanced perspective. And we heard him talk a lot of times. And then, okay, well, let's pick that guy. Like maybe he can do something with that. That's not really how it goes. It's more like, oh yeah. It's more, okay, let's put this guy there, and then he can further a certain agenda. That's like how it currently goes. And that is also because, I don't know, not all people, of course, want to go into government at this moment as it is. It looks like a little theater, like a little, I don't know, they're doing a little dance, especially in the Netherlands. It's quite funny. They're all like talking and like, da, 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 da. But then in the end, it's like nothing really changes because all the decisions have already been made. They're only doing it so that there is I don't know, a debate, so that maybe then people see it or something, like the opposition. It's like, I think it would be like super frustrating. But yeah, okay, everything has its place. So the thing that I'm trying to get across, what was like the main conclusion. So yeah, if you just look at this system, you want to have people that are actually good at what they do, and they are being selected. And now it's more, people don't want to go in government, but let's say like everybody just has access to, I don't know, like this is just an idea, like a decentralized system. I can log in and I can see like, okay, well, this guy, okay, he's now in charge of health. Okay, nice. Okay, cool. And yeah, maybe it changes, and there's like a rotation. Maybe next time it's Jimmy because yeah, he has some other perspectives. Like, can we, integrate some of that? Okay, fun. Let's experiment a little bit here. Let's experiment a little bit there. And what I also understand is that not all people will be, I don't know, in a sense capable of this, but that is not because people don't have the capacity. It's because the capacity is forcefully and intentionally kept really, really low. Really, really low on a consistent basis, so that then, yeah, there are a lot of people that maybe not can do this type of society, but, maybe next generations. That's totally fine also. I'm just sharing an idea for the future. It's not that this will happen in 1 week or a couple weeks or a couple months even. It can take years and years and years. Who knows? Who knows how it will go? Maybe faster, maybe slower. I'm just saying like, okay, can we use our imagination to think of, okay, how would that look like? Could that be better? I mean, you can also say that maybe it's not better. Like, I would love to hear your thoughts. But if you really think this through, in the essence, government is just an immoral thing. It's mafia on a whole another level. And yeah, that's where the people go that want power. It's quite obvious. So yeah, this is my video about government, why it is immoral, and how our society could go to the next level if we let government go. And then from that point on, it's basically like, okay, how can we then organize it in decentralized systems? And of course, these systems can already be built to a certain extent. And then, okay, let's test them. Let's see what goes wrong. Okay, we need to do this. We need to do that. And then, of course, yeah, you need some people that have higher levels of consciousness, and not the whole world will make this transition. It will probably start in one place first, and then maybe a second, and maybe a third. Maybe it will start in several places at the same time. Who knows? Who knows how that will go? But I do believe there is a next level, and I think that this is it. If you have other ideas, let me know. But I do know that the next level that we don't want is a totalitarian system that, you know, is called technocracy, where the technology is so integrated in daily life, the technology of control, that every single step and every single thing that you do is monitored to the T. And if you do one thing outside of that line, then, you know, you get a deduction on your carbon credits or your universal basic income, and everything is controlled. And, you know, there's a select few with all the money and all the power, and all the other people are slaves. I don't see that as like the next level of humanity, and that's what Team Control wants. That's what what they want. More and more control, more and more power. Oh, more centralized. Yay! I mean, it's a fun game. Also interesting, but I don't think that is the path that most people want to go on. Like society that, you know, George Orwell warned for in his book 1984. Like, just so controlled, so every single aspect. And now with AI, it can go to absurd levels, that control. Because, yeah, you can monitor and track everything, and then, oh, this AI, you know. Yeah, it's insane. So, yeah, I don't think that's it. So I think more freedom, voluntarism, decentralized systems, and then we can transcend this thing called government. And it's also has to do with more the inner mechanics, because it's as within, so without. So I'll talk more about that in future videos. What has to happen also on the inside. I already made some videos about that. What is freedom? Part 1 and part 2 are already released. So make sure to check those out if you want more the essence of what freedom is. And then also I tie that also to society and government. And that's also really important to understand what is really freedom. Because that is the thing that they are trying to take away from you. And yeah, you are already free. So yeah, they can't really take it away in a sense, because you are free. Like, this is the essence of who you are. But they can take it away in the physical sense, and take it away in, you know, yeah, the things that you can just do and be who you want to be. And yeah, so my point is, I'll talk more about the inner things, what has to happen so that a society like this would even be possible. Because yeah, you need to have people that have their shit together, you know, that are internally balanced, and that also strive to, yeah, want to create a society like that from this internal harmony and this internal, how can I say, high vibration in a sense. This more love, more peace, more joy, more integrated certain darkness and shadows. And then from that point, okay, what can we create? Because it's obvious, if people who are traumatized and have not dealt with their baggage and stuff, yeah, then yeah, things will go wrong. So it's also just like the next evolution of consciousness, and then that will then also reflect in the outside world, and then the need for government will just fall away. So I'll talk more about that in future videos. And that's all for this video. If you liked it, then make sure to like it, and also make sure to subscribe if you want more videos like this. And probably there's also some kind of free guide or something that you can get if you look down below, and that can help you with raising your own consciousness and understanding freedom on a deeper level, and also how we can create more freedom in this world, and how we can create a better world for everybody. So stay tuned and have a great day.